processing new leads. Who all has questions on how to process a new lead? You do? Okay. Let's get into that. So this is really the critical one, you guys. Obviously, responding to new mail is important, but getting those new leads processed and out of your new folder is going to be important, especially for your agents, because we all know if your agent doesn't log into the system within 24 hours of receiving a new lead, they're going to be what? Deactivated. Come on, you guys, wake up. They're going to be deactivated. All right, so not that hard, but it's something that your agents need to stay on top of. I log into lots of accounts and see, 20, 30 leads piling up in the new folder, and that's going to take you guys a while to sort through all those new leads, not to mention the opportunity is almost gone at that point. All right, so logging in right away when you're notified and processing a new lead. So let's take a look at what that looks like. You have a new prospect, you click on their name from the new, and what do you guys do next? Come on, I know you guys know this. Exactly, the initial contact wizard. You're going to see a big orange bar at the top of the screen. Click on that initial contact wizard, and it's going to walk you through what you should be doing with that lead. If they have a phone number, you're going to call them right away, okay? If you guys can get to that prospect in the first 15 to 20 minutes, and you can move it out of the new folder, then you can call that prospect yourself. And really, this is ideal, right? Your agents are the salespeople. They're going to have a better chance and opportunity to convert that lead than our call center will. Our call center is merely there to serve as a backup to your agents. If they're out in the field, if they're working with a client, if they're at a closing, whatever it is they're doing, if they can't get to the prospect, we're going to make that first immediate professional contact and represent ourselves as the assistant to one of your agents. But that's really just to serve as a backup. I hear a lot of agents say that, we wait for the call center. That's fine, but again, just keep in mind that if you guys can get to the lead first, you should, okay? So if there's a phone number, by all means, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call. If there's not a phone number, then you're going to go ahead and email the lead. That's what the initial contact wizard is for. It's going to take a look at all the properties that lead has viewed, come up with an average of the price and the location, and pull some properties that they haven't yet seen, much like the recommended listings work. So you can sort through those properties. A couple things to be aware of though, you guys. Realty Generator is a computer system, so it's gonna make an average. If your prospect went on the site and they were looking at mostly, say, $300,000 homes, and then they found one $10 million home that they wanted to just take a peek at for fun, okay? People do that. It's gonna skew the average a bit. So it's important for you guys to, as a human being, take a look at those listings and make sure that they look accurate. If you see 10 homes at $300,000 and one at $10 million, you should probably adjust the settings a little bit so that you're sending them just the properties that they're really interested in, okay? So you're going to send the initial contact wizard out with some properties. There's a script already in the initial contact wizard email. We've used it for the past 7 years. It's very effective. If you guys want to customize it a little bit, you can. If you just want to get that email sent out, then you can leave it as is. All right, so you send the initial contact wizard out. What do you guys need to do next? Set a reminder, right? So we want to make sure that we're reaching out to this person several times in the first 2 to 3 weeks. So yesterday I told you guys about an office we have in Spokane, Washington. It's a Keller Williams office. Keith Riddle is the managing broker there. And they have what they call the 10 days of pain. We've got a mastermind call recorded that goes over this process, which you guys can listen to if you want. But basically, they make a point to contact their lead at least once a day for the first 10 days that the lead comes in. And they've created a series of email templates that they documented with their office, with all their agents. And they send those out to the lead once a day for 10 days. And they try and reach them by phone as well. So really, whatever your process is going to be for the first 2 to 3 weeks, make sure that you document it, sit with your agents, give them those email templates to use so that they have everything they need to reach out to that person over the first 2 to 3 weeks. That's really the most important time frame with these people, okay? So set yourself a reminder for the following day to call or email that prospect and repeat that process over the next 2 to 3 weeks until you make contact. If you don't make contact, that's okay, right? A lot of people are coming online 6, 10, 12 months out before they're ready to buy. So if they don't respond to you, if they don't pick up the phone, if they don't follow up with one of your emails, that's okay. Go ahead and put them in the inactive folder and set a reminder for yourself to follow up. Our best agents are setting reminders for themselves to follow up every other month with those that are in your inactive folder. This is totally doable, you guys, especially for those of you who are newer on the system. Your agents are going to have smaller pipelines than Bonnie White, who we looked at yesterday, who's got 2,000 leads in her database. Every other month is totally doable. So this is something that you should always be encouraging when you're talking to people and when you're emailing people. Be sure and mention listing alerts and press those, because this is going to be your key way to stay in front of those folks who are not going to buy for a year or two, right? It gets them on an email campaign that's going to send them listings. It's something of value to them, and it keeps your face in front of them continually over a year or two. I talk to agents all the time who will call me up and say, "Listen, I just got a phone call out of the blue from this lead who signed up on my website 2 years ago. They hadn't been to the site in a year and a half. I saw them pop up on my activity tab a few months ago, and now they're ready to go." And they tell them, the reason that they called that agent is, "You've been sticking with me. You've been sending me listings for, all these months," where a lot of realtors will fall off. Okay, so great point. All right, so you set yourself a reminder to follow up with the lead. If you're able to get them on the phone, that's fantastic. Take notes. This is really key. So any information you can get from the lead over the phone, details like their kids' names, the school district, why they want to move, if they have pets, details like that are really important to keep in the notes section, because when you talk to that person the next time, you're going to have their detail page up. You're going to be able to, remind them that you know who they are. It's really going to help, forge that relationship with the client. So very important to take notes. And then what do we do last with a lead, you guys? When you're done processing them, you've reached out, then what do you need to do? There you go. Perfect. All right, so where are you going to move a new lead that you've tried to contact? Where is he going to go first? Active? Retry. There you go. So Stu, if you get a hold of him, that's great. If you're able to talk to him or if they give you an email response, yeah, put him in the active folder. But if you can't get a hold of him, put him in the retry folder for a couple of weeks while you still reach out and try and make contact, okay? If you don't make contact in the first, say, 3 weeks, then you go ahead and put them in the inactive folder. That way you're not focusing on people that aren't actively communicating with you. They're not engaged in the system, so don't worry about them. Let them sit, let the system incubate that lead for you. You're focusing on your new prospects and people that are actively engaged. Okay? Absolutely. So take a look at the listing history. Look at the actual properties that they've clicked on, right? Because that's actually going to show you not whatever's been sent out to the lead. So even though they're getting these listing alerts, and they're probably getting tons of property if they've got no price parameters, if you look at the listing history, that's only the properties that they actually clicked on. All right, so that's only what they've actually viewed. Make sense? So yeah, great point. So if you see that, reset the listing alert for them. Send them a quick email saying, "Hey, I noticed you wanted to get notified of new properties as they come on the market. I noticed you had a really broad parameter. Tell me a little bit about what you're looking for, and let me help you with your search." Perfect opportunity to call or email that lead. Right? So people in your active and your hot folder, those are people that you're hearing from. They're consistently coming to your website, and they're either emailing you from time to time on a property, or you're talking to them on the phone from time to time. So if you notice that they haven't been back to your website in several months and they haven't emailed you, then yeah, I would probably put them in the inactive folder at that point. But again, just so long as you're setting a reminder for yourself to follow up with them on a regular basis. Retry is really designed to be where you put those new leads that you're first trying to make contact with, okay? Because, keep in mind, you guys, as your database grows, it's very easy to get overwhelmed. So you just want to have a good logical system that makes sense for you, okay?